The All-Time Rosters franchise is here. This is game one of the preseason. All-time Seattle, all-time San Diego, Los Angeles. Chuck Muncie's trying to fight for the final running back spot of the Chargers 53. He finds the end zone, and Herbert does too, as he caught fire in the fourth quarter, guiding back-to-back scoring drives to give San Diego the late lead. And then the defense preserves the preseason win with a fourth down sack of Jim Zorn. The Chargers by 1. Plenty of hype surrounding this preseason game between Brady's all-time Buccaneers and Patrick Mahomes' all-time Chiefs. The starters in week one of the preseason play only the first quarter, so this was Brady's only drive of the game. They'd march into field goal range and miss it. Meanwhile, Mahomes looked pretty good. That's a 24-yard pass on a third down to Chris Burford. Len Dawson took the controls in the second quarter and finds Tony Gonzalez, who puts together a good run, but they couldn't get by the outstanding Tampa pass rush. This is Leroy Selman with the sack. Tampa wins this preseason game 9-7. It should be a fun year for both Brady and Mahomes. David Johnson is vying for the final running back spot of the all-time Cardinals roster, but that fight got a little harder as Otis Anderson shines with an 80-yard Arizona touchdown. Cardinals win on the road 16-9. Donovan McNabb and Randall Cunningham are contending for the first quarterback spot on the all-time Eagles roster. They play Baltimore today. McNabb's lone drive began with this 36-yard strike to Pete Retzlaff, and Steve Van Buren would end the march with this goal line touchdown. Meanwhile, Baltimore is a quarterback situation too. Lamar Jackson and Joe Flacco are both competing for the first position. Jackson showed some promise, but then the offense stalls at the 50 and would be forced to punt. Into the fourth quarter, Philadelphia's final quarterback is still up in the air. Jalen Hurts, fighting for that, played well in this one and finds his former teammate A.J. Brown with a big play. That was part of a sensational 5-catch, 94-yard effort for Brown in the Philadelphia win. Two of the NFL's premier franchises meet from Soldier Field in Chicago. All-time Bills, all-time Bears. Two of the best running backs in the game, Walter Payton and O.J. Simpson, shined in the first quarter of this one. They didn't have many carries, but made the most of it. Buffalo's O.J. goes for 48. Meanwhile, the best running back on the field tonight was Red Grange, nicknamed the Galloping Ghost, had the best performance of any running back in week one of the preseason. 13 for a buck 17 and 3 scores in just the second half. Chicago humiliates Buffalo 28-10. Game of the week in Ford Field, featuring the all-time Bengals and the all-time Lions. Chad Ochocinco, his only catch is a 51-yard house call for Cincinnati. Jared Goff is vying for a quarterback spot on Detroit along with Greg Landry. The winner of that battle will be the third and final Lions QB. He finds Tate for the touchdown. Fourth quarter, Burrow is currently the third stringer for Cincinnati, but he played much better than that in this one. A touchdown to Higgins, and then this one on a comeback, Collinsworth from 26 to tie the ball game. And we're going to overtime in the preseason. The Bengals would win the toss and would receive, but they could not protect their quarterback on this drive. Burrow with the sack, then after a false start, Robert Porcher decks him in the end zone, and Detroit walks it off with the safety. Robert Porcher, an outstanding pass rusher in his day, clinches the win for Detroit 30-28. Joe Burrow shined in a big way for Cincinnati, going for 209 in the second half. The 5-time world champion Cowboys have a quandary at wide receiver going into the preseason. CeeDee Lamb, Miles Austin, Tony Hill, and Dez Bryant. Those are the 4 wideouts vying for the final 2 spots on the all-time Cowboys receiving chart. That battle won today by Dez Bryant. Dak Prescott and Tony Romo for the final quarterback position as well for Dallas. Prescott played well. Meanwhile, Plummer and the Broncos absolutely did not. That pitch taken away by Everson Walls. Incredible play by Walls as Dallas knocks out Denver 30-0 in week one of the preseason. Incredible position battle at wideout for Dallas. Dez Bryant, the winner tonight with 107 yards and a touchdown. The number one offense for both the all-time Green Bay Packers and the all-time Cleveland Browns looked very sharp in this one. Max Speedy gone from 80 for Cleveland, but Rodgers and the Packers bounces back. Sterling Sharp, who should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he goes 3 for 87 in this one. Rodgers throws for over $150. The all-time Packers win it on the road by 4. 1976 NFL MVP Burt Jones of the Colts faces Andrew Luck for the final quarterback position in Indianapolis. He would throw 6 of 8 for 122 yards and a touchdown, but this goal line interception to Aaron Donald of the St. Louis LA Rams. Colts would win this preseason game 20-7. All-time Jaguars hit the road to face the all-time Patriots. The highlight of the day was in the third quarter. This for the lead, Travis Etienne from 45. Patriots by 3. Miami's, of course, going to start the season with Dan Marino as their QB, but the best pass of the week was delivered by Mercury Morris out of the Wildcat, a 58-yard beauty to Randy McMichael. Bob Greasy loving it for the Dolphins. Meanwhile, Tua Tagovailoa got involved in the second half with this rushing touchdown for the Dolphins. Earl Campbell and the Oilers mixed with the Titans for the all-time Tennessee franchise. They would begin the preseason against the all-time Vikings. Moon and the offense looked sharp on their only drive of the day. Frank Wycheck with the 18-yard touchdown. Minnesota has as good of a wide receiver core as anybody in the NFL with Randy Moss, Justin Jefferson, and Chris Carter. Into the fourth quarter, George Blanda and Ryan Tannehill is the final quarterback battle. Blanda looked good early in the fourth, but the offense stalls, and Minnesota comes away with a 4-point win in the preseason, 21-17 Vikings. 4 quarterbacks, and only 3 of them are going to make it to opening day for the all-time Giants. Eli Manning, number 14, Y.A. Tittle, Fran Tarkenton, and Phil Simms. The winner on the day was Tittle, as he enjoyed a good quarter with the number ones. Odell Beckham, Del Schaffner, and then for the lead, Saquon Barkley caps off the drive with 6. Loser on the day was certainly Phil Simms, as he coughs up a fumble and Gamble returns for a touchdown. Giants hang on to win this preseason game 16-14. All-time Steelers at the all-time Redskins Commanders. Winners on the day was Neil O'Donnell and Lewis Lips. They combined for a 79-yard touchdown connection here. O'Donnell throws another score and guided a third touchdown drive in the second half. This one capped off by Le'Veon Bell. Neil O'Donnell had a perfect passer rating of the nation's capital, and Lewis Lips goes over 100 in the dominant Pittsburgh win. Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints battled the all-time San Francisco 49ers. Brees didn't throw the ball much in this one, but sure made the most of it. On 3rd and 15, how about a huge one to Marcus Colston, a gain of 55. Hugh McElhenney is vying for the final running back spot for San Francisco. His opponent is Christian McCaffrey, and both of them ran well. This running back battle should go all preseason long. 49ers win this one 12-3. Big day out of both tailbacks. C.J. Stroud, number 7, joins Deshaun Watson and Matt Schaub as the 3 QBs for the all-time Texans in this, the capper of our Week 1 preseason slate. Stroud began the day with this 44-yard strike to Brandon Cooks, who wound up being his favorite target. Stroud would finish with over 150 for Houston. Cooks this time beating Sauce Gardner for the first down. New York wins the game, however, 10-0. Week 1 of the preseason is in the books. Here's a look at all the scores, including that overtime thriller between Cincy and Detroit. No need to worry, folks. Injuries are turned off until the regular season, so all of your favorite players will still be healthy for Week 1 of the regular year. Joe Burrow shined in the preseason as he tries to leap Boomer Esiason and shoot maybe even Ken Anderson in the quarterback battle out of Cincinnati. Des Bryant as well. All of these preseason updates and cut days approaching. That complete breakdown on the Roster Cut Day episode tomorrow. This is the All-Time Rosters franchise with Charge New 95.